After the disappointing start against Golden Arrows, Kaizer Chiefs' coach Cavin will be looking to put things right, especially since we are playing the derby this weekend. But we can't think about the derby right now because if we do, then we lose focus and we lose against Cape Town Spurs. And we don't want to lose against Cape Town Spurs because our neighbors have already lost against them. So we have to kind of prove that we are better than them before we even prove that we are better than them when we beat them, when we meet them on Saturday. That's redundant. Let's talk about Kevin Johnson's starting 11 against Cape Town Spurs. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host, and this is Fans Meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. I am laughing because I'm saying Spurs like I'm a white person. Anyway, Spurs, Cape Town Spurs. Okay, so starting with the goalkeeper. Most of you will be disappointed when I say this, but Brendan Peterson is still going to start against Cape Town Spurs. Why? Because Kevin Johnson clearly said that Peterson has only made one mistake. People are going to say, no, Pilo, that is ridiculous. What do you mean? Well, what I mean is Kevin Johnson said that all the mistakes that happened before he was there, he did not see them because he was not there, so they don't count as the mistakes that happened under him. So he can't then just drop a player after making one mistake because, he's counting from when he was at the club as the senior coach. So Brendan Peterson comes back. Right back position, he would be crazy if he didn't play Riff Rosler. And by the way, can we address this thing? I hear some people saying Riff Rosler is always out of position. No, man, he's not out of position. That's exactly what he is supposed to do. He's asked to overlap and go and provide width up front and try and play those dangerous crosses in the box. And by the way, in football, if you've noticed, the thing that is called positions is kind of disappearing. It's more of roles now. It's no longer about which position to play because you will find a winger, a person who's supposed to be taking on defenders and cutting into the box and scoring goals, being at the right back position, helping out with the defending. So now it's more like a role. What is your role? Your role is to help the person at the back and to make sure that you stop the people from crossing the ball. But going forward, your role is to create chances. So it's more of a role, not a position. So there is no one player who's fixed at one position where they're supposed to be for the entire 90 minutes. Otherwise, you won't do anything. Left back positions, Fiso Hlanti, of course, it is him. If Dove is still not recovered yet, Dove is going to sit on the bench even if he's back because I think they won't just risk bringing him right back after that injury as well. Then centre back pairing, the first one is Utitlokwe, who's no brainer because he's been there consistently. Which brings us to who will the coach pick between Kevin Msimango and Njabulo Ngcobo? Because there's nothing wrong that Njabulo Ngcobo has done so far, but Kevin Msimango was only picked. Well, Njabulo Ngcobo has also been, he's not done anything wrong, and Kevin Msimango, I feel like he's probably our best defender. But somehow, he's being benched because of the mistakes that he made before Kevin Johnson arrived, because that's why he was dropped in the first place, because he had made those mistakes, and then Ngcobo comes in, and then he plays alongside him. So Kevin Johnson, what are you going to do about Kevin Msimango? Because at the end of the day, think about it, he's one of our best players. Well, as I said, our best defender. And if you keep him on the bench for a long time, he ends up getting frustrated, and then that's not good for the team morale or anyone for that matter. But I do think the coach will stick with Njabulo Ngcobo because, well, also he hasn't done anything wrong. Before we go to our midfield, which gets interesting, by the way, let's talk about you subscribing. Yes, didn't see that coming, did you? And you liking the video to help me reach more people like you. Thank you so much for following. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you so much for all of these things. Now let's move on and talk about our midfielders. At number 6, Bongiseni Mteto is not there because of the accumulation of yellow cards, so he won't be available for tomorrow's game, which makes Kevin Johnson's job much easier because now he gets to just play Matt as a 6 and play Castillo as an 8, which brings about an interesting thing now because who do you choose? You have so many options as your number 10s. Yes, you do have a lot of options as your number 10s. For one, you have Ntutuzi Shabalala, who also has a very good work rate. You have Kick and Dolly, who they haven't played out wide because both the players that I just counted, they were played as wingers in the previous game, and then they were tucking in from time to time. So being the coach, knowing that we have those two options, but also in the bench, you also have the likes of Matlow, and the other player who's not been played but was kind of teased that he might come back was Sabelo Hateb. But with Cavin Johnson not wanting to change things that much, I see him bringing back Ulehlohonolo Matlow, because once again, if even though Kevin Johnson will say he doesn't want to change things that much, or he hasn't changed things that much, you can still see that the team selection that is making, most of the players are exactly what Nsegi chose. He didn't just come and rip apart everything. Obviously, he's had 2 weeks to kind of change things and see other players properly. But I still think he will play Matlow because of the chemistry that he's trusting will be there with the players. Because also coming to the derby, that's another thing that's going to be important for players who understand and have been playing against with each other. So with that, I think it's just going to play Matlow. We go to the left winger. The left wing, yes, is going to play Mtutuzi Shabalala. The boy did no wrong in the last game, so keep him. And then we go to the right winger. Once again, I don't like this, but he will play Dolly there. I prefer him as a number 10. I've said it before. I've said it. I will say it again. And then at number 9, last game we were told that I didn't know why Ranga wasn't there, and I didn't see anything from the communication by Kaizer Chiefs saying Ranga was injured. But I heard some people saying Ranga was injured, so hopefully he was injured. Well, not that it's a good thing. I'm saying the only reasonable thing that would make sense is that he was injured in that previous game, because nothing justifies him not playing in the previous game, unless, of course, the coach will say, oh no, I didn't play him because he hasn't impressed me, and even the game that you're saying he played well in, I wasn't there, so you can't count me in that. So I do think that it would make more sense for us to play Ranga as a number 9, and coach seems to think that Sile is a better option. I'm not so sure. Knowing that Cape Town City will not be coming out attacking us for the entire game, then I would think that Ranga will be the choice. However, if he thinks Cape Town City will be a threat coming to us, then Sahile will be the choice. Hey, I almost forgot. Remember to stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll have a pre-match build-up sort of a thing, because we're not allowed to go to the stadium. So we'll have a live stream before the game starts. That happens an hour before the game, which means we'll go live at 6:30 until the game starts. And maybe, just maybe, we might have a watch along, depending on the network and all that stuff, and load shedding, because we're in South Africa. So yeah, stay tuned tomorrow. We're having a live stream before the game. Give me your own starting 11 down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelu Moya.